Hello everybody, welcome back to the Fireside Bible Study. We are on the book of Deuteronomy, and we are currently going to be reading 9 through 16. On the last one we read 1 through 8, and the chapters were kind of just a refresher of some of the things that happened during the journey from Egypt to the Promised Land. Including reciting the Ten Commandments, just reminders of God's gracious dealings, some of the warnings that the Lord gave the people, as well as promises of the Lord. Chapter 7, verse 12, Then it shall come about, because you listen to these judgments and keep and do them, that the Lord will keep his covenant with you, and his faithfulness which he swore to your forefathers. So, the chapters were just kind of God reminding the people of Israel why he does what he does and the covenant that he wanted to keep, and he is keeping that covenant, which is great. So we're gonna keep reading on here with chapter 9, and I'll pray us in. We'll get started. Heavenly Father, we just come before you once again, as always, just to pray that we absorb your wisdom, take it in, learn the history, and we just thank you for everything that you do, and we love you and we will always follow you. Amen. All right. Chapter 9, Israel provoked God. Hear, Israel, you are crossing the Jordan today, to go and dispossess nations greater and mightier than you, cities that are great and fortified to heaven. A people who are great and tall, the sons of Anakim, who you know and of whom you have heard said, who can stand against the sons of Anak? So be aware today that it is the Lord your God who is crossing over ahead of you as a consuming fire. He will destroy them, and he will subdue them before you, so you may drive them out and eliminate them quickly, just as the Lord has spoken to you. Do not say in your heart when your Lord your God has driven away from you, because of my righteousness the Lord has brought me in to take possession of this land. Rather, it is because of the wickedness of these nations that the Lord is dispossessing them before you. It is not because of your righteousness or the uprising of your heart that you're going to take possession of the land, but it is because of the wickedness of these nations that the Lord your God is driving them out from before you, in order to confirm the oath which the Lord swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Know then, it is not because of your righteousness that the Lord has given you this land to possess, for you are a stubborn people. Remember, do not forget how you provoked the Lord your God to anger in the wilderness. From the day you left the land of Egypt until you arrived at this place, you have been rebellious against the Lord. Even at Horeb you provoked the Lord to anger, and the Lord was so angry with you he would have destroyed you. When I went up to the mountain to receive the tablets of stone, the tablets of the covenant of the Lord the covenant which the Lord made with you, then I remained on the mountain for 40 days and nights. I neither ate bread nor drank water. The Lord gave me 2 tablets of stone written by the finger of God, and on them were the words the Lord had spoken to you in the mountain from the midst of the fire the day of the assembly. It came about the end of 40 days and nights, the Lord gave me 2 tablets of stone, the tablets of the covenant. Then the Lord said to me, Arise, go down from here quickly, because your people who you brought out of Egypt have behaved corruptly. They have quickly turned aside from the way I commanded them. They have made a cast metal image of themselves. The Lord also said to me, I have seen this people. Indeed, it is a stubborn people. Leave me alone, so I may destroy them and wipe them from under heaven. And I will make for you a nation, mightier and greater than they. So I turned and came down from the mountain while the mountain was burning with fire. The 2 tablets of the covenant were in my 2 hands, and I saw you had indeed sinned against the Lord your God. You have made for yourselves a cast image of a calf. You had quickly turned aside from the way the Lord had commanded you. So I took hold of the 2 tablets and threw them from my 2 hands, smashed them into pieces before your eyes. Then I fell down before the Lord for the first time for 40 days and nights. I neither ate bread nor drank water, because of all your sin which you had committed by doing what was evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger. For I was afraid of the anger and the rage which the Lord was angry with you, so to destroy you. But the Lord listened to me that time as well. The Lord was also angry enough with Aaron to destroy him. So I also prayed for Aaron at that same time. And I took your sinful thing which you have made, the calf, and burned it to the fire and crushed it, grinding it thoroughly until it was fine as dust. And I threw the dust into the stream that came down from the mountain. Then at Taberah, at Massa, at Kibroth Hatava, you kept provoking the Lord to anger, when the Lord sent you from Kadesh Barnea, saying, Go up and take possession of the land which I have given you. You rebelled against the command of your Lord your God. You neither trusted him nor listened to his voice. You have been rebellious toward the Lord since the day I knew you. So I fell down before the Lord for 40 days and nights, which I did because the Lord said he would destroy you. And I prayed to the Lord and said, Lord God, do not destroy your people, your inheritance, who you have redeemed through your greatness, and you have brought out of Egypt with a mighty hand. Remember your servants, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Do not turn your attention to the stubbornness of this people, or to their wickedness, or their sin. Otherwise, people of the land which you brought us will say, since the Lord was not able to bring them into the land which he had promised them, since he hated them, he has brought them out to kill them in the wilderness. Yet they are your people, your inheritance, whom you brought out with your great power and your outstretched arm. The tablets rewritten. At that time the Lord said to me, cut out for yourself 2 tablets of stone like the first 2. Come up to me on the mountain, and make an ark of wood for yourself. Then I will write the tablets the words that were on the first tablets you smashed to pieces, and you shall put them in the ark. So I made an ark of acacia wood, and cut out 2 tablets of stone like the first 2. And when I went up to the mountain with the 2 tablets in my hand, and he wrote on the tablets like the first writing the 10 commandments which the Lord had spoken to you on the mountain from the midst of the fire on the day of the assembly. And the Lord gave them to me. Then I turned, come down from the mountain. I put the tablets in the ark which I had made. They are there, just as the Lord had commanded me. Now the sons of Israel set out from Beeroth Bene Jaakan to Mosera. There Aaron died, where he was buried, and his son Eleazar served as priest in his place. From there they set out to Gudgoda, and from Gudgoda they to Jabbatha, a land of streams of water. At that time the Lord singled out the tribe of Levi to carry the ark of the covenant of the Lord, to stand before the Lord to serve him and bless him in his name until this day. Therefore Levi does not have a portion of inheritance with his brothers. The Lord is his inheritance, just as the Lord your God had spoke to him. I, moreover, stayed on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights like the first time. And the Lord listened to me at that time also. The Lord was not willing to destroy you. Then the Lord said to me, arise, proceed on your journey ahead of the people, so you may go and take possession of the land which I swore to your forefathers to give them. And now, Israel, what does the Lord your God require of you but to fear the Lord your God, and walk in all his ways and love him, to serve your Lord the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul, and to keep the Lord's commandments and his statutes which I am commanding you today for your good. Behold, the Lord your God will belong in heaven, and the highest heavens, the earth, and all that's in it. Yet the Lord his affection on your fathers to love them, and he chose their descendants after them, you over all the peoples, as it is this day. So circumcise your heart, and do not stiffen your neck any longer. For the Lord your God is the God of gods, and the Lord of lords, the great, the mighty, the awesome God, who does not show partiality or nor take a bribe. He executes justice for the orphan and the widow, and he shows his love for the stranger by giving him food and clothing. So show your love for the stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. You shall fear the Lord your God, you shall serve him, cling to him, you shall swear by his name. He is your glory, he is your God, who has done these great and awesome things for which your eyes have seen. Your fathers went down to Egypt 70 persons in all, and now the Lord your God has made you numerous as the stars of heaven. Rewards of obedience. 11. You shall therefore love the Lord your God, and always keep his directive, his statutes, ordinances, commandments. Know this day that I am not speaking with your sons who have not known and not seen the discipline of the Lord your God, his greatness, his mighty hand, his outstretched arm, his signs, works, and all he did in the midst of Egypt to Pharaoh the king of Egypt and to all his land, and what he did to Egypt's army, his horses and his chariots, and he made the water of the Red Sea engulf them while they were pursuing you. And the Lord completely eliminated them, and what he did to you in the wilderness until you came to this place, and what he did to Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, the son of Reuben, when the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them, their households, their tents, and every living thing that followed them among all Israel. But your eyes have seen the great work of the Lord which he did. You shall therefore keep every commandment which I am commanding you today, so you may be strong. Go in, take possession of the land which you are about to cross to possess it, so that you may prolong your days on the land which Lord swore to your fathers to give to them, and to their descendants, a land flowing with milk and honey. For the land into which you are entering to possess it is not like the land of Egypt which you came, where you used to sow your seed and water it by your foot like a vegetable garden. But the land which you are about to cross to possess it, a land of hills and valleys, drinks water from the rain of heaven, a land for which the Lord your God cares. The eyes of the Lord your God are continually in it, and from beginning even to end of the year. And it shall come about if you listen obediently to my commandments, which I'm commanding you today, to love the Lord your God and serve him with all your heart and all your soul. He will provide rain for your land in its season, the early and late rain, so you may gather your grain, your new wine, and your oil. He will also provide grass in your field for your cattle, and you will eat and be satisfied. Beware that your hearts are not easily deceived, and you do not turn away and serve other gods and worship them. Otherwise, the anger of the Lord will be kindled against you. He will shut up the sky, there will be no more rain, and the ground will not yield its produce, and you will quickly perish from the good land which the Lord has given you. You shall therefore take these words of mine to heart and to soul, and you shall tie them as a sign to your hand. They shall be frontlets on your forehead. You shall also teach them to your sons, speaking of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk along the road, when you lie down, and when you get up. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates, and your days, and so that your days and the days of your sons may be increased in the land which the Lord swore to give your fathers, or swore to your fathers to give them, as long as the heavens are above the earth. For if you are careful to keep this commandment while I'm commanding you to do, to love your Lord your God, walk in his ways, and cling to him, the Lord will dispossess all these nations from you, and you will dispossess nations greater and mightier than you. Every place on which the sole of your footsteps shall be yours. Your border will be from the wilderness to Lebanon, and from the river Euphrates, as far as the western sea. No one will be able to stand against you. Lord your God will instill the dread of you and the fear of you in all the land which you are to set foot, just as he has spoken to you. See, I am placing before you today a blessing and a curse. The blessing, if you listen to the commandments of the Lord your God I am commanding you today, and the curse, if you do not listen to the commandments of the Lord your God, but turn aside from the way which I am commanding you today, by following other gods which you have not known. And it shall come about when the Lord your God brings you in the land which you are entering to possess it, that you shall place the blessing on Mount Gerizim, and the curse of Mount Ebal. Are they not across the Jordan, west of the road toward the sunset, in the land of the Canaanites who live in Arabah, opposite Gilgal, from the oaks of Moreh? For if you are about to cross the Jordan to go and take possession of the land which the Lord your God has given you, you shall possess it and live in it, and you shall be careful to do all the statutes and judgments I am placing on it for you today. So the Lord is just reminding the people of Israel what he did, what he was going to do, what his promise was, and what he wants them to do. Laws of the sanctuary. These are the statutes and judgments we shall carefully follow in the land which the Lord your God of your fathers has given you to possess, as long as you live on the earth. You shall utterly destroy all the places where the nations of whom you are going to dispossess serve their gods, on the high mountains, the hills, and under every leafy tree. You shall tear down their altars and smash their memorial stones to pieces. Burn their Asherim in the fire, and cut to pieces the carved images of their gods. You shall eliminate their name from that place. You shall not act this way toward the Lord your God, but you shall seek the Lord at the place which the Lord your God has chosen from all your tribes, to establish his name there for his dwelling, and you shall come from there. You shall bring there your burnt offerings, your sacrifices, your tithes, the contribution of your hand, your vowed offerings, your voluntary offerings, the firstborn of your herd and of your flock. There you and your household shall eat before the Lord your God, and rejoice in all your undertakings, which the Lord your God has blessed you. You shall not do at all what we are doing here today, everyone doing whatever is right in his own eyes, for you have not as yet come to the resting place and the inheritance of which the Lord your God has given you. When you cross the Jordan and live in the land which the Lord your God has given you as inheritance, and he gives you rest from all your enemies around you, so that you may live in security, then it shall come about the place which the Lord your God will choose his name to dwell, and you shall bring everything that I command you, your burnt offerings, sacrifices, tithes, the contribution of your hand, and all your choice vowed offerings which you vow to the Lord. You shall rejoice before the Lord your God, you and your sons and daughters, male and female slaves, and the Levite who is within your gates, for he has no portion of or inheritance with you. Be careful you do not offer your burnt offerings in any cultic place that you see, but only in the place which the Lord you chooses in one of your tribes. There you shall offer your burnt offerings, and there you shall do everything that I command you. However, you may slaughter and eat meat within any of your gates, whatever you desire, according to the blessing of the Lord your God which he has given you. The unclean and clean may eat it, and the gazelle and the deer. Only you shall not eat the blood. You are to pour it out in the ground like water. You are not allowed to eat within your gates the tithe of your grain, new wine or oil, or the firstborn or herd of your flock, or any of the vowed offerings which you vow, or any voluntary offerings of the contribution of your hand. You shall eat them before the Lord your God, in the place in which the Lord your God will choose, you and your son or daughter, male and female slaves, and the Levite who is within your gates. You shall rejoice before the Lord in all your undertakings. Be careful you do not abandon the Levite as long as you live in your land. When the Lord your God extends your border, as he has promised you, and you say, I will eat meat, because you desire to eat meat, then you may eat meat, whatever you desire. If the place where the Lord your God chooses to put his name is far from you, then you may slaughter animals from your herd and flock which the Lord has given you, as I have commanded you, and you may eat within the gates of whatever you desire. Just as gazelle or a deer is eaten, so you may eat it. The unclean and the clean alike may eat it. Only be sure not to eat the blood. The blood is the life. You shall not eat the life with the flesh. You shall not eat it, you shall pour it on the ground like water. You shall not eat it, so it may go well for you and your sons after you, since you will be doing what is right in the sight of the Lord. Only your holy things which you may have in vowed offerings you shall take and go to the place which the Lord chooses. And you shall offer your burnt offerings and the flesh and the blood on the altar of the Lord your God, and the blood of the sacrifices shall be poured on the altar of the Lord your God. You shall eat the flesh. Be careful and listen to all these words which I am commanding you, so they may go well for you and your sons after you forever. For you will be doing what is good and right in the sight of the Lord your God. When the Lord your God cuts you off from the nations which you are going to possess, and you dispossess and live in their land, be careful you are not ensnared to follow them. For after they are destroyed from your presence, you do not inquire about the gods, saying, How do these nations serve their gods so they may do likewise? You shall not behave this way towards the Lord your God, because every abominable act which the Lord hates, they have done for their gods, for they even burn their sons and daughters in the fire for their gods. Whatever I command you, you shall be careful to do. You shall not add nor take anything from it. Reject idolatry. If a prophet or a dreamer or of dreams arises among you and gives you a sign or wonder, and the sign or wonder comes true, of which he spoke to you, saying, Let's follow other gods from you not known, and let's serve them, you shall listen to the words that the prophet and dreamer of dreams, for the Lord your God is testing you to find out whether you love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul. You shall follow the Lord your God and fear him. You shall keep his commandments, listen to his voice, serve him, cling to him. But that prophet or dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has falsely spoken against the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you from the house of slavery, drive you from the way which the Lord your God has commanded you to walk. So you shall eliminate the evil from among you. If your brother or your mother's son or your son or daughter or the wife you cherish or the friend who is like your own soul entices you secretly, saying, Let's go and serve other gods, whom neither you and your fathers have known, of the gods of the peoples around you, near you, far from you, from the one end of the earth to the other end, you shall not consent to him or listen to him. You and your eye shall not pity him, nor shall you spare or conceal him. Instead, you shall most certainly kill him. Your hand will be first against him to put to death, afterward the hand of the people. So you shall stone him to death, because he attempted to drive you away from the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. Then all Israel will hear about it and be afraid, and will not do such a wicked thing among you again. If you hear in one of your cities, which the Lord your God has given you to live, anyone saying that some worthless men have gone out from among you and have seduced the inhabitants of their city, saying, Let's go and serve other gods, which you have not known, then you shall investigate, search out, and inquire thoroughly. And if it is true, and the matter is certain that this abomination has been committed among you, you shall most certainly strike the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword. Utterly destroy it and all who are in it and its cattle with the edge of the sword. You shall then gather all of its plunder in the middle of its public square, burn the city and its plunder with fire as a burnt offering to the Lord your God. It shall be a ruin forever. It shall never be rebuilt. Nothing at all from what is designated for destruction is to cling in your hand, so that in order the Lord may turn his burning anger away from you and show mercy to you, and have compassion on you and make you increase, just as he swore to your fathers. If you will listen to the voice of the Lord your God, keeping his commandments for which I am commanding you today, doing what is right in the sight of the Lord your God. So far, it's just been one big reminder of some of the laws and things that the Lord really wanted them to know before in Leviticus and Numbers. Clean and unclean animals. 14. You are the sons of the Lord your God. You shall not cut yourselves or shave a bald spot above your head before the dead. You are a holy people to the Lord your God, and the Lord has chosen you to be a people for his personal possession of all the peoples who are on the face of the earth. You shall not eat a detestable thing. These are the animals you may eat: ox, sheep, goat, deer, gazelle, roebuck, wild goat, the ibex, the antelope, and the mountain sheep. Any animal that has a divided hoof and has its hoof split in two, and choose the cud among the animals you may eat. However, you are not to eat these among the ones that chew the cud, or among those who have the hoof divided in two: the camel, the rabbit, the rock hyrax, for they chew the cud, and they do not have a divided hoof; they are unclean to you. And the pig, because it has a divided hoof, does not chew the cud; it is unclean for you. You shall not eat any of their flesh or touch their carcasses. I believe he went over this in Genesis, I believe. These you may eat out of everything that is in the water. Anything that has fins and scales you may eat. Anything that does not have fins and scales you shall not eat. It is unclean for you. You may eat any clean bird, but the ones you shall not eat: eagle, vulture, the buzzard, the red kite, the falcon, and the kite in their kinds, every raven, ostrich, owl, seagull, and hawk, little owl, great owl, white owl, pelican, carrion vulture, the cormorant, the stork, and the heron, and the hoopoe, and the bat. All the swarming insects with wings are unclean to you. They should not be eaten. You may eat any clean bird. You shall not eat anything which dies of itself. You may give it to the stranger who is in your town, so he may eat it, or you may sell it to a stranger, for you are a holy people to the Lord your God. You shall not boil a young goat in its mother's milk. You shall certainly tithe all the produce from what you sow, which comes from the field every year. You shall eat in the presence of the Lord your God at the place where he chooses to establish his name. The tithe of your grain, your new wine, your oil, and the firstborn of your herd and your flock, so you may learn to fear the Lord your God always. But if the distance is so great for you, not able to bring the tithe, since the place where the Lord your God chooses to set his name is too far away from you, when the Lord your God blesses you, you shall exchange it for money, and bind the money in your hand, and go to the place which the Lord your God chooses. And you may spend the money wherever your heart desires: oxen, sheep, wine, any strong drink, or whenever your heart desires. You shall eat it in the presence of the Lord your God, and rejoice, you and your household. Also, you shall not neglect the Levite who is in your town, for he has no portion or no inheritance among you. At the end of every 3rd year you shall bring out all the tithe of your produce in that year. You shall deposit it in your own town. And the Levite, because he has no portion or inheritance among you, and the strangers, the orphan, the widow who are in your town, shall come and eat and be satisfied, in order that the Lord your God may bless you in the work of your hand which you do. The sabbatical year, 15. At the end of every 7 years you shall grant a release of debts. And this is the regulation for the release of debts. Every creditor is to forgive what he has loaned to his neighbor. He shall not require it of his neighbor and his brother, because the Lord's release has been proclaimed. From a foreigner you may require it, but your hand shall forgive whatever of yours is with your brother. However, there will be no poor among you, since the Lord will certainly bless you in the land which the Lord your God has given you as inheritance to possess. If only you listen obediently to the voice of the Lord your God, to follow carefully in all his commandments which I am commanding you today. For the Lord your God will have blessed you just as he promised you, and you will lend to many nations, but you will not borrow. You will not rule over many nations, but they will not rule over you. If there is a poor person among you, one of your brothers, in any of your towns which the land your Lord your God is giving you, you shall not harden your heart, nor close your hand from your poor brother, but you shall fully open your hand to him, and generously lend him enough for his need whatever he lacks. Be careful that there is no mean-spirited thought in your heart, such as, the 7th year the release of debts is near, and your eye is malicious toward your poor brother. You give him nothing, and he may cry out to the Lord against you, and there will be a sin in you. You shall generously give to him, and your heart shall be not be grudging when you give to him. Because for this thing the Lord your God will bless you in all your work, and all your undertakings. For the poor will not cease to exist in the land. Therefore I am commanding you, saying, you shall fully open your hand to your brother, to your needy and poor in your land. To your fellow countrymen, a Hebrew man or a woman is sold to you, then he shall serve you for 6 years. But in the 7th year you shall set him free. And when you set him free, you shall not send him away empty-handed. You shall generously give to him your flock, your threshing floor, and your wine vat, and you shall give to him the Lord your God has blessed you. And you are to remember, yet you were a slave in the land of Egypt, and the Lord your God redeemed you. Therefore I am commanding this of you today. But it shall come about, if he says to you, I will not leave you, because he loves you and your household, for since he is doing well with you, then you shall take an owl an awl, I don't know what that is, and pierce through his ear to the door. He shall be your servant permanently. You shall do the same to your female slave. It shall not seem difficult for you when you set him free, because he has given you 6 years with the double of a service of a hired worker. So the Lord your God will bless you whatever you do. You shall consecrate to the Lord and all your firstborn males that are born in your herd and your flock, and you shall not work with the firstborn of your herd, nor shear the firstborn of your flock. You and your household shall eat it every year before the Lord your God in the place the Lord chooses. But if he has any impairment, such as a limp, blindness, or any serious impairment, you shall not sacrifice to the Lord your God. You shall eat it with your gates. The unclean and clean may eat it alike, as a gazelle or a deer. Only you shall not eat its blood. You are to pour it out on the ground like water. 16. The fields of Passover, of weeks, and of booths. Observe the month of Abib, and celebrate the Passover to the Lord your God in the month of Abib, the Lord your God has brought you out of Egypt by night. You shall sacrifice the Passover to the Lord from the Lord your God from the flock and the herd, in the place where the Lord chooses to establish his name. You shall not eat leavened bread with it. For 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread with it, the bread of affliction, for you came out of the land of Egypt in a hurry, so that you remember the day when you came out of the land of Egypt all the days of your life. For 7 days no leaven shall be seen with you in your entire territory, and none of the meat which you sacrifice on the evening of the first day shall be left overnight until the morning. You are not allowed to sacrifice the Passover in any of your towns which the Lord your God has given you, but only at the place which the Lord your God chooses to establish his name. You shall sacrifice the Passover in the evening at sunset, at the time which you came out of Egypt. You shall cook and eat it in the place which the Lord your God chooses. In the morning you are to return to your tents. For 6 days you shall eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day there shall be a festive assembly to the Lord your God. You shall do no work on it. You shall count 7 weeks for yourself. You begin to count 7 weeks from the time you begin putting the sickle into the stranding grain. Then you shall celebrate the Feast of Weeks to the Lord your God with a voluntary offering out of your hand as to a proportional amount, which you shall give just as the Lord your God blesses you. You shall rejoice before the Lord your God, you, your son, your daughter, your male and female slaves, and the Levite who is your town, and the stranger and the orphan, and the widow, who are in your midst, at the place which the Lord your God chooses to establish his name. You shall also remember you were a slave in the land of Egypt. You shall be careful and comply with these statutes. You shall celebrate the Feast of Booths for 7 days. When you have gathered it in from your threshing floor and your wine vat, you shall rejoice in your feast, you, your son, and your daughter, male and female slaves, and the Levite, the stranger, the orphan, and the widow who are in your towns. For 7 days you shall celebrate a feast to the Lord your God, which the place which the Lord chooses, because the Lord your God will bless you in all your produce, and all the work of your hands. You shall be altogether joyful. 3 times a year all your males shall appear before the Lord your God in the place which he chooses, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Feast of Weeks, the Feast of Booths, and they are not to appear before the Lord empty-handed. Everyone shall give as he is able, in accordance with the blessing which the Lord your God has given you. You shall appoint for yourself judges and officers in all your towns which the Lord your God has given you, according to your tribes, and they shall judge the people with righteous judgment. You shall not distort justice, you shall not show partiality, you shall not accept a bribe, because bribe blinds the eyes of the wise and distorts the words of the righteous. Justice, and only justice, you shall pursue, so you may live and possess the land which the Lord your God has given you. You shall not plant for yourself an asherah of any kind of tree, beside the altar of the Lord your God, which you shall make for yourself. And you shall not set up a memorial stone, which the Lord your God hates. And there's 17, but we're going to stop here for now. So with 2 more sessions of Deuteronomy, we should be finished. But this was a good one. So mostly this was just reminders of the ordinances and the laws in which the Lord gave his people. Like for example, things that you can eat, what you can't eat, stuff like that. So just reminders, things to remember. But it's always good to hear, because some of those things we don't have to do anymore, thanks to Jesus Christ. So, but thank you guys for watching. Hope you're enjoying. Hope you're taking in the wisdom. We will see you for, I think we're going to do, 18 through 26 next. and then we should have only 8 verses to go after that. We should be good to go. So, thanks guys for watching. We'll see you later. Bye.